One of the most common questions I hear from artists is how do I actually get more streams on my releases? And 9 times out of 10, they tell me the same thing. They've been posting on TikTok and Reels, but it's really unreliable and it eats up a ton of their time. Well, that's exactly why I started testing Meta ads as a more controlled way to grow my releases. I've been taking them quite seriously over the last year and a half, and my personal catalog is now closing in on 1 million streams without anything going viral. So if you've never run Meta ads before, the basic idea is pretty simple. Your song plays in the background of an ad. The right listener sees it on their feed, and if they're interested, they click listen now. That sends them through to a smart landing page and then right over to Spotify. So behind the scenes, this setup feeds strong data back to Meta so it can optimize your ads and find more of the right listeners. And when that traffic starts hitting Spotify consistently, that's when you start to build some real algorithmic momentum. So today I want to walk you through my most recent campaign and how it gained over 25,000 streams in the first month of its release. So here's my most recent release, if you can hear this. And in the last month or so, it's gotten over 25,000 streams. We just got an update here today, so it's a little bit higher. But as you can see, high amount of saves, high amount of playlist ads, decent streams per listener. Not amazing, could do better here, but what we're essentially doing here is feeding Spotify really good data. Spotify's seeing really good numbers here, so Spotify wants to push the song out. So if we go into the playlist tab, we got pushed on Discover Weekly, Radio, Release Radar, and then all these other playlists that kind of trickle in as well. And this is just Spotify recommending my song to other people. And if we go to the source of streams tab, let's see where these streams are coming from. So 10% are coming from my profile and catalog. That's typically people clicking on the landing page, listening to the song from my profile. 30% of streams are coming from listeners' own playlists and library. So people are adding it to their playlist and then listening to it later, which is awesome. And we see a massive 57% of streams coming from Spotify algorithmic playlists. So this is a direct result of feeding Spotify good data from Meta ads, and in turn, Spotify pushes my song out. What this does is increase the popularity score of my song that I just released. And you want to get to about a 30 popularity score, and Spotify really starts pushing you out in its Discover Weekly algorithm. So had I have not ran these ads, my song would be sitting at less than 1,000 streams because Spotify just doesn't have enough data to work with. It doesn't want to push the song out because people aren't saving it. They're not adding it to their playlist. They're not repeat listeners. If they're not going to push it out to people. So with these Meta ads essentially show Spotify, hey, this song is good. Push it out to people. It's kind of like a hack for the algorithm. So let's get a little bit into the campaign here. As you can see, I've spent about $400 on this campaign. I kind of tested 2 different styles. I tried just an open targeting, and then I tried a dialed in targeting with indie folk and indie pop. And as you can see, they're fairly similar results. This one's the open one on the bottom, and this one's the more targeted one. 2-cent difference. No major difference here. So I'll show you where I started out. So I had this one campaign. I did 3 ad sets on it, and I didn't have a lot of time to make ad sets for this release. So I took a gamble and I only tested 3 sections of the song because of my own time constraints. So unfortunately, the gamble did not work out in my favor. As you can see, the cost per result was 70 cents, $1.58, and this one didn't even get any clicks. So I had to go back to the drawing board and see what is going to work here because I have this brand new song. I didn't have time to do ads. What can I do to make this work? So I ran a new campaign. I knew from previous campaigns that intro sections of my songs do really well, especially if they're catchy. And on this song, it was relatively catchy. So I just threw together last minute a quick ad creative from footage that I had from a previous campaign. And I just put for fans of Noah Kahan, Mumford & Sons, and Lumineers, and put it over the intro of my song. And luckily, it ended up doing extremely well at 18 cents per conversion. And that's Canadian as well. So a little bit less if you're converting to USD. So essentially how I set this up, very simple. I did an engagement campaign, $10 a day. and I did the budget at a campaign level. So the budget of the campaign will be split across everything in the campaign as Meta decides. As for the ad set, I did an open ad set. I ran tier 1 to 2 countries, ages 18 to 55, and Spotify as a streaming service only for targeting. And I only ran the ads on Instagram. But essentially with this campaign, I got lucky because I was under time constraints with making ad creatives and I just didn't have the time. So I did get lucky that one of them did resonate. So as for testing, I'm going to show you another one of my campaigns on a way to actually test all of your ad creatives. So you're giving them all a fair shot with Meta. So before I mentioned I ran the budget at a campaign level, but in this campaign for my song Miss Daisy, I ran it at an ad set budget level. So this is a brand new campaign, different song. And as you can see, each ad set, I've ran $3 a day. So in each ad set, it's going to run $3 a day to these 3 hooks, and which are pretty much the same video and song, but just a different hook on screen. So if we go in here, as you can see, bro finally made it out of the friend zone. Same section of the song here. This is a song for anyone who found the one they've been looking for, etc. And I did that for 7 different sections of the song to give Meta a lot to work with here and to do a lot of testing, because you want to give your song a fair chance. You don't just want to test 2 sections of the song. You don't just want to test 2 or 3 different ad creatives. You want to do a lot of testing here. So that's what I did here. And as you can see here, when you look at the results on this, so I ran them for about a day. And then after a day's worth of data, you can start turning off ads that aren't doing as well. So after 1 day, as you can see, like a lot of these cost per results were fairly high. So $1.14, $1.18. Some of them are lower, 63 cents, 38 cents, etc. And now this gives you a lot of data, because the ones that are a lot higher, you can start turning off, and the ones that are lower, you can continue testing, and you can also dial them in a bit more with either different targeting or different hook options and stuff like that. And if we click on the lowest one here, so 38 cents, we can go into it even further. I had 4 hooks here, and one of them was sitting at 32 cents. So I could have kept that running. You know, the click-through rate was over 1%, which is really good. So it was almost at 2% here. So I probably could have kept running this ad if I wanted, but there was another ad that was doing a lot better, and that was this viral hook style. It was at 22 cents per result. And, you know, the 3-second video plays was 55%, which is pretty high. The link click-through rate was 1.21%. Everything was looking good here, so I just kind of kept running this ad. And this ad here is a little bit more engaging. This is what I call a scroll stopper, but it's basically me I set up a fake proposal to my wife. She says no, pushes me out of the shot, and then I come into the shot playing the song. Super engaging. Like I said, scroll stopping. But here's one of the styles I kind of like to use. I'm going to do another video completely on ad creatives because I think it deserves its own video for this. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that video. But essentially, that's kind of all we got going on with this ad creative. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to just walk you through exactly how I set it up. So if you wanted to follow along step by step, creating your own ad campaign, then you can do so. All right, so we're going to go to our main campaign page and we're going to click create. We're going to go engagement. I do see other Facebook ads guys talking about doing sales campaigns. I've kind of A/B tested both of them. I don't see much of a difference, but we're going to do engagement because this is what I typically do. We're going to do a manual engagement campaign. And what you'll see is this setup page here. You'll have a new engagement campaign. You'll have your ad set. So we're going to call this "If You Can Hear This Test." And for this one, we'll just set it up as a campaign budget. But if you want to try doing a lot of testing, you can set it up as an ad set budget as well. So we'll do $10 a day. And then that's all you have to do under the campaign. Super easy here. And then we'll go to our ad set. So we're going to call this open tier 1 and 2. So conversion locations, we want to click website. We want to maximize the number of conversions. Data set, you'll want to pick your pixel here. Conversion event. So I'm using Hyped It right now. So I'm going to go Hyped It Smart Link click, and that's going to show Facebook every time somebody clicks on your link to Spotify, it will get an event that's triggered. And that's how it calculates your cost per result. So we're going to keep scrolling down here. We're going to set up our locations. We're going to go to edit, and I'm going to go to add locations in bulk here. And I'm going to click countries, and then I'm going to paste this list. I will do a little scroll. So if you need to pause, these are the countries. I'm going to click match locations, and I'm going to add them. And now we're going to scroll down and we're going to go into here. So we're going to click our age range. I'm just going to go 18 to 55 here. Detailed targeting, we're going to go Spotify here as a streaming service. And what you can do if you want to do additional targeting, you'll want to always put Spotify in here. And then if you want to click define further, you can just click so indie folk or indie pop. But so you have to make it so it says, but also matches indie folk or indie pop. So essentially, if the person on Instagram likes Spotify and indie folk, they can see this on their page. Or if they like Spotify and indie pop, they'll see this on their page. I'm going to make this broad, so I'm going to get rid of these. Keep going down. Meta always tries to pull this Advantage Plus stuff on you. So under here, you want to click manual placements, and let's click off Messenger, Facebook, Audience Network, and Threads. Let's just do Instagram here and run Instagram feed, Instagram profile feed, Instagram Explore Home. We don't need that. These are all fine. And then Instagram search results. So you can click on these and we'll do our ads. In this instance, we're only going to do one ad. So we'll go add one intro. So down here, you want to pick your Facebook page, Instagram account, and then you want to click manual upload here. Click off multi-advertisement ads. And then here you're going to paste your landing page. So I'm using Hyped It right now. I'm going to paste my landing page here. And then we're going to scroll down here under ad creative. We're going to go video ad. We're going to select the media. So I'm going to select this video here. We don't want to trim it. We don't want to do any of these things that Facebook tries to suggest. We're going to do some primary text here. So if you can hear this out now. You can get creative. You can paste a lyric or something in here, but this is just kind of preliminary. And then call to action. This is fairly important. You want to click listen now. And then it's going to try and get you to do some enhancements. Make sure you turn all these off. They try and hide these too. So make sure you scroll down. There's some over here as well. I think we got all of them. And then we're going to click next and then done. And essentially this is set up. So you just want to make sure this is all set up and went in here properly. So we have listen now. We have the primary text and your pixel will show up in here because you've selected it before. And now you're all set to publish your ad. So very, very simple to set these ads up. And essentially you want to wait a little bit, wait 24, 48 hours. If you're new to Meta, you might have to wait even longer than that. But my pixel has a lot of data on it. So, like I said, I typically see after 4 to 8 hours, you can see the cost starting to go way down. But for people that are just new to Meta, you might have to give this a few days to start seeing some data come in and to see your costs get lower. If you want help setting up ads for your own releases, I do work one-on-one with artists to help them set up and run their own campaigns. I only take on a small amount of artists per month, so if you are interested, just click the link at the top of the description below. Fill out the quick form and I'll get back to you. But other than that, I appreciate you watching and we'll see you in the next one.